it is critically important for South Africa to lay down the appropriate mechanisms that will enable it to marshal its human resources, strengthen innovation and global niches in knowledge production in order to improve overall economic and social development and to transform ourselves as a country into a knowledge-driven society. And that's why it is pleasing for us to note that the objectives of the South African Mathematical Society are well aligned with the Department of Science and Technology's priorities, and in particular, in improving South Africa's knowledge outputs. This creates an environment within which our country can move towards being a truly knowledge-based economy. The essential ingredient for this research and development landscape to flourish and to grow is South Africa's ability to effectively harness and utilize its skills base. It's a huge challenge. The availability of advanced mathematical skills in our country is key to the success of several programs led by the Department of Science and Technology. A case in point is the substantial investment that we're making currently in astronomy. I mentioned the work that we're doing in the area of paleontology, but in astronomy, we've also become world leaders in our own little way because we have such ideal conditions to do good astronomical science. So not too far from here, in a semi-arid area of South Africa called the Karoo, we now have the largest single optical telescope in the southern hemisphere, very large, powerful instrument, and we're currently bidding for what will be by a long way the world's largest radio telescope. Whether we win that bid or not, it's to be announced in March next year, and we trust that you'll all be lobbying and betting for us to get it. I'm not going to tell you who our competitor is. That's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. But we would like to have that SKA, square kilometer array, in our country. But whether we get it or not, we have a very large radio astronomy project which will be located in that area called the Meerkat. It will consist of 64 12-meter in diameter dishes. And it, until the SKA is established, will in fact be the world's largest radio telescope. That we're going to do anyway. So I think we are making a lot of progress. Now, the role of mathematics in astronomy is well documented. As some experts put it, astronomers must apply equal measures of analytical thinking and imagination, logic and intuition to answer the most fundamental questions about the cosmos and therefore understanding of the nature of the universe. Now, while the enrollment figures of mathematical sciences, including statistics, students in our country have grown by 22% between the years 2000 and 2009, the bad news is that the numbers of graduating students at master's and doctoral levels remain very low. In 2009, 84 students graduated with research master's degree or diploma in mathematical sciences, constituting only 2% of all graduating research master's students in that year. Similarly, during the same year, 36 students graduated with a doctorate in mathematical sciences, also only 2% of all graduating doctoral students in that year. Now, I mention these statistics because I believe that SAMS can play a very important role in improving this dire state of affairs. Now, my speech is, and I challenge them to do so. Now, if I challenge them to do so, then I'm going to have to take up your challenge of knocking on my door. You can knock on the door anytime. Every time you knock on the door, I'll open it. Every time we'll have a discussion, but don't expect a checkbook to be signed every time you come into the office. Let's allow the engagement to continue. We have huge challenges. Now we can see when the choir sings in front of us today, the beautiful minds, the discipline that it is, and that's what mathematics is about. It's about discipline, it's about creativity flourishing, but it's a lot of hard work. Now, we have an abundance of talent in our country. That is abundantly clear. But translating the talent that we have to careers in the sciences, to becoming researchers and mathematicians, that remains a very big challenge. I think the critical ingredients, in fact, in getting people to do better at maths is in the first instance to want to do it. And that's where some of the science projects that we have become inspirational. That's where Gov, Uncle Govan Mbeki, when he says that we cannot achieve, I can't remember how the quote goes, but you won't be quite free unless you master mathematics. So if you want freedom, master mathematics. So you've got to want to do it, and you've got to believe that you can do it, and you have to be assisted in doing it. And those are the essential ingredients, and we can do it. So somebody said here, this wonderful woman, Michelle Obama, visited us last year. I said star-studded visits, and she's married to that other fellow, Barack Obama. I forgot his name for a moment. She's such a wonderful person, Michelle Obama, and she really, I must say, but you won't quote me because it could be politically damaging for me. But I believe that Michelle kind of overshadows Barack, you know. But we know the famous Barack slogan, yes, we can. And I think we should believe in it. We should believe that we can, but it doesn't just come. We have to work at it. I'm sure you don't want me to go through this very long speech of mine, but I believe that these two bodies, SAMS and AMS, are key in spearheading the success of research and development through collaborations that could address some of our key socioeconomic issues affecting the USA, and there are many, and of course not only South Africa, but the whole African continent. You know, it is true that, you know, how does one get inspired? By seeing good science at work. But the public will ask, of what value is it? So when we go and see your fantastic microscope over there, remember we asked the question, now how does that nanotechnology work, and that material science and the knowledge that we gain and the experimentation that we can do with this very powerful instrument, how could this potentially translate into solutions to the very real problems we face, not only in South Africa, across the continent and in the globe? For example, HIV/AIDS. I want to just refer to you as one example where we've promoted mathematics and statistics-related disciplines was through the establishment of another center of excellence. This university's material science section is a center of excellence. It's a very good model, by the way, at universities, because it's fundamentally premised on the value of collaboration and shared resources. But another one of these centers of excellence was the establishment of the South African Center for Epidemiological Modeling. That's a long word, epidemiological. I'm not going to ask any of you to say it, because you're mathematicians. Modeling and analysis. It's a center of excellence based at the University of Stellenbosch. Now this facility is really crucial to understanding the dynamics of disease transmission. And it's using our mathematical skills and our statistical skills to give us answers to very important questions. I think the 6 research chairs that have been established that are focusing on mathematical education, I think they're extremely important. Because even as I was coming here, I just said, you've got to want to do it, you've got to believe you can do it, but you've got to be assisted in doing it. And I think the quality of our maths educators, our maths teachers, that is one of our biggest single challenges, to ensure that our maths teachers are better equipped to be able to convey that knowledge and to teach our young learners. The infrastructure that we have in support of science, we think it's very important. You're going to get your best science if you craft your innovation system in a clever way, in a smart way. But the infrastructure, such as the microscope, such as the telescope, such as high-performance computing systems, that could make the critical difference between mediocre science and good science, between what you're able to produce in a relatively short space of time and having to go abroad to do your science. We can do it here. We've started doing it, and believe me, we will continue. The Department of Science and Technology will therefore continue to support these very important initiatives, which lead to building partnerships not only inside our country, between institutions, but also across countries. I believe the first day of this Congress has been a great success. I think you've got hard work to do, and I have no doubt that the next 4 days will be equally robust, informative, and rewarding as the 340 or so researchers, officials, and delegates from around the world network, exchange ideas, and enlighten one another. So allow me to end then with a brief quote, because that's what politicians do. They quote other politicians. But this time I won't quote another politician. I'll quote not a famous mathematician, but I'll quote a rock star, a musician, the beautiful mind in the musician, Mike Rutherford, a founding member of the rock group Genesis, of whom Phil Collins is perhaps the best known member, once said, "Being in a band is always a compromise. Provided that the balance is good, what you lose in compromise, you gain by collaboration." So, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you very well in your deliberations, and may this collaboration between AMS and the SAMS go from strength to strength. Thanks very much.